I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
And together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
That's in our opinion, Bob.
Does he agree? All right, today, Brad, we're going to talk about shoulder dislocation. The big question we're going to answer today is, will it happen again? And the other second question is, do you need surgery?
Sure.
Because we have a lot of people that are make comments to us. They have had a dislocation,
right,
and are wondering what they should do. Now, in this instance, we're talking mainly about anterior dislocations, which means anterior means forward. Yeah.
The joint moves this direction.
That's the dislocation that happens 95% of the time, Brad.
Sure.
So and basically what happens, you got the humerus here, and you take it up into abduction, and then it brings back into external rotation, and this bone pops forward. Okay? The simple test to tell whether or not your arm is actually dislocated, Brad,
Sure.
is if I dislocated this one, I can't touch this shoulder.
Okay. You can't reach across.
I can't reach across.
Okay.
And most of you, I think, are going to know if you dislocated your shoulder,
Sure.
but that is the simple test. All right. Is it going to happen again?
Right.
The biggest factor that determines that, Brad, is age. The younger you are, the more likely it's going to happen again.
Sure.
If you're less than 10, 100% chance it's going to happen again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they think it has something to do with the stretchiness of the ligaments.
Yep.
As you get older, you and I, there's no stretch left in our ligaments.
Sure. Yep. We've tightened up.
Yep. And so if you're older, like our age, our chance is probably maybe about 20%.
And I think we're probably less likely, if we injured it, we're going to protect it and not do those activities that put you vulnerable.
Brad is exactly right. When you're younger, you're more likely to participate in those high-demand contact sports that are going to put you more at risk. So if you're less than 30, the one book I had read, the chance was about 70% chance, even if you're doing rehab.
Okay.
So
sure.
This is something to keep in mind. Another one I saw, if you're less than 20, they pretty much recommend you may need surgery, especially if you're going to do sports.
Right. And again, this is something the surgeon is going to determine and the therapist is going to put input, but it gives you some idea.
So let's talk about the factors in which you're going to probably need surgery. One, if you have a positive, what we call apprehensive test, apprehension test, let's
Sure.
go ahead and do that, Brad.
Do that.
Now this test can be done laying down, or it can be done seated. We'll do it seated right now,
Sure.
Brad, just so they can see it. Why don't
Yep.
I'll do it on you.
All right.
We'll pretend we're testing this one right here. What you do is you take the arm, you put it at a 90-degree angle. This is the 90, and the elbow at a 90-degree angle. And all you're going to do is bring the arm back like this. And what you're doing, you're looking for, one, that he stops me, or two, you're looking for the expression on his face, or he says, hey, it feels like it's going to go out of place. So that's the apprehension test. And I prefer to do it laying down.
Right.
It's just a little more control. But if that's positive, he's more likely going to need surgery than not. It doesn't mean he's going to.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that if it's not positive that you may not need surgery. I mean, it's more of an indicator.
It's just an indicator is all.
If you are younger and you do want to participate in sports, it's a good chance you're going to need to have surgery.
Sure. Okay.
If you've had already 3 episodes of dislocation in a year, it's probably time.
Those things are stretched out and they're just not going to tighten up with strengthening and et cetera. But
whatever the makeup now is of your shoulder, it's going to happen. It's just going to keep happening. Right. If you have instability during sleep, and I had a patient that this happened to.
Sure.
It went out twice on her while she was sleeping, and that started an indicator that it's happening that easy. That means that you need surgery. If you've had, you got the shoulder, Brad? What happened to it?
with the shoulder,
Oh, here it is.
we've lost our
The arm,
shoulder.
we lost
Bob.
the arm. If you fractured like the greater tuberosity, or if you've got a fracture in the rim of the shoulder, or you tore this labrum, or you tore the rotator cuff, or you tore the bicep, I mean,
Some mechanical disruption.
obviously quite often then you're going to have surgery, which by the way is what happens to the older people like us.
Right.
Usually the rotator cuff tears because we don't have any flexibility, so the tendon of the rotator cuff tears.
Sure.
So, so the thing you want to take away from this mostly is that if you're young and you're going to do sports, it's more likely going to happen again, and you're going to probably need to have surgery.
Sure.
So, And remember, Brad, we're not just pretty.
We're pretty ugly.
We're pretty handy and helpful.
Handy,
so
yes,
if you
we
want to,
are.
make sure you subscribe to us because we're going to help you out.
Hit the subscribe button. Do all those things that make digital world happen, and
Yeah.
we can help you out.
Thanks a lot for watching.